Uh, Good evening, all. Happy Friendship Day. We from SREC Alumni Association welcome everyone for the 9th webinar talk series, Yoga during COVID times. We welcome our principal, ma'am, our speaker of the day, Mrs. Priya Gandhi, other faculty members from our college, and all our alumni friends. Mrs. Priya Gandhi belongs to 96-2000 batch EEE branch. She is the first lady speaker of this webinar talk series. She is a certified yoga instructor since 2006. She is an IT project manager by profession, mother of 2 boys. Yoga is her tool for staying grounded while juggling multiple hats. When she is not working, she likes to spend time with family, dancing, music, drawing, and cooking. யோகா இந்த மண்ணுடன் சம்பந்தப்பட்டது. இது ராமாயண மகாபாரதமும் தோன்றிய ஒரு கலை. இது இசைக்கலை, நாடகக்கலை, ஓவியக்கலை போல் அனைவருக்கும் பொதுவானது. யோகா மதம் கடந்தது, இனம் கடந்தது, நாடு கடந்தது, மனிதர்களுக்கே உரியது. இந்த கலையை உலகுக்கு அளித்த பெருமை நம் இந்தியாவிற்கே. யோகா என்பது ஒரு கலை. அதை தினமும் செய்தால் நலம். தினமும் ஒரு வகை யோகா, அதில் மனமும் பெற்றிடும் வளம். யோகா உடல் நலம் காக்கும். தினம் யோகா செய்பவர்கள் யாருக்கும். யோகா ஆனந்தம் கொடுக்கும். தினம் யோகா அமைதியும் அளிக்கும். யோகாவின் பயன் பல கோடி. தினம் யோகாவில் ஈடுபடுவதைந்தோடி. யோகா செய்வது நன்றே என பேச வருகிறார் மிஸ்ஸஸ் பிரியா காந்தி. Madam, please.
Thank you. One second. I'm going to share my screen. Hi, Shakti. Oops. Let me know if you're able to see the screen.
No, I'm not.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Not yet. The screen is not yet visible.
Not visible yet? Okay. I am sorry. Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Clear.
Perfect. Okay. So thank you so much for putting this together. I know this is the 9th week. So just like everybody else, we've learned to do the webinar series while everybody's at home. Munnadiyella, if everybody's on, device learnda, it used to be like, oh my God, always on the electronic devices. We used to pulling a device use pannangana, make people connection, talk to people soluvom. Ana the same technology now in this COVID time has, it's funny how ironically it's switched. One small bug came and everything is switched, and now we are using technology to connect to people because we're not able to see them. So we are living in this interesting time. But what COVID also has brought us is a lot of anxiety because of the uncertainty. And we're not sure what economic impact this COVID is going to bring too. So I am no expert by any means. They already gave an intro. So as I said, as he mentioned, that I am from 96 to 2000 batch EEE. Graduated, came here to US, married and came here to US in 2001. Been living here in Chicago ever since. I do have two boys, 16 and 13, going to high school and middle school. I'm also working in at BMO Harris Bank as Agile Delivery Manager. So that is a little bit of my background. I started my yoga practice in 96. Interestingly, my mom was my first yoga buddy. So எங்க அம்மாவோட தான் first நான் கிளாஸுக்கு போனேன். அப்ப ஆரம்பிச்சது அந்த ஜேர்னி. அப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா curiosity, inquisitiveness. I wanted to learn more. It felt very good. So my journey started. I am still a student. I'm still learning. I did my teacher's training in 2006. Interestingly, how that happened was I had my first child and he was 2.5 years old and my younger one was born. நான் ஊருக்கு கூட்டிட்டு வந்திருந்தேன் கோயம்புத்தூருக்கு. I wanted to put my son, by that time it was 10 years since I started my practice. So I totally, completely believed in it. My delivery was easy. There were so many good benefits that I practically saw. So எனக்கு புள்ளைங்க எல்லாரையுமே அதுல இன்வால்வ் பண்ணணும்னு ஆசை. ஸோ என்னோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பையனை கிளாஸுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போலான்னு தான் போனேன். இங்க சிகாகோல they used to have mommy and me classes, like சின்ன பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க. நம்ம ஊர்ல அப்போ my first practice was in Coimbatore Integral Yoga Institute ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு அங்கதான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண யோகா. ஸோ அங்கதான் திருப்பி போயிருந்தேன். அப்போ இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்லி அவங்களோட சென்டர் இங்க வர்ஜீனியால இருக்கு. ஸோ they said we're actually starting a teachers training program. நாங்க சின்ன பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்க மாட்டோம், but you're welcome to do the teachers training program. So my plan was to stay there for 4 months and அந்த class வந்து அப்பதான் sometimes it just happens, things fall in place. That is how I became a teacher basically. So I wanted to teach my kid and so I said okay, 10 வருஷமா நான் கத்துக்கிறேன், பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு அங்கதான் என்னோட டீச்சர் ஜர்னி ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சு. ஸோ அந்த 3 months நான் அங்க கத்துக்கிட்டு இங்க வந்தேன். தென் அவன் ப்ரீ ஸ்கூல் போக ஆரம்பிச்சான், ஸ்கூல்ல சொல்லி கொடுக்க ஆரம்பிச்சேன். தென் ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் டீச்சிங் அட் ஹோம். இங்க கோயில்ல கிளாஸஸ் நடந்துட்டு இருந்தது. ஸோ pretty soon like 13 classes a week பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். Then I went into my advanced classes. Advanced இங்க உள்ள local yoga schoolல போய் I did my advanced teachers training in all styles. So நான் இந்தியால கத்துக்கிட்டது hatha yoga. இங்க வந்து advanced and intermediate and advanced was in all styles, and then I specialized in yoga therapy. So eventually இன்ஜினியரிங் வரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி என்னோட ஆசை மெடிசன் படிக்கணும்னு. மெடிசன் போகாத இன்ஜினியரிங் வந்தது. எனக்கு இப்போ யோகா, my dad's a nephrologist, brother's a cardiologist. So I'm working with them also. Eventually the plan is to aid the hospital, like the allopathy treatments with the homeopathy and yoga and stuff. So அந்த thought process இருக்கு மனசுல. Materialize பண்ணல fulla. I've been talking to my brother about it. So eventually that's where I want to go. Now back to how to do so yoga. So in the time during this pandemic, this is what I've been doing. I found myself manage my stress level, pandemic or not pandemic, or every day, because you're juggling different hats. I manage my stress level, and I found yoga to be very helpful for that. So I didn't invent any of these theories. I've discovered through yoga classes, teachers training. I also mentored a teachers training program for 2 years. And then through my own trial and error, I always continue to learn. இன்னும் கத்துக்கிட்டே தான் இருக்கேன். Every day, every student also I learn from. அவங்க கேட்குற question ஒவ்வொரு பாடியும் ஒவ்வொரு விதமா இருக்கு. So the more students I teach, the more I've been learning too. We already went through this. So what is the goal of yoga, right? So nama yoga, it's a very generic term and it's a wide term. We keep talking about it, but what actually is yoga? Is it a fitness class? Is it something that makes you, stay fit, or is it more than that? It is actually the goal of that yoga is basically stillness. So we are trying, the end goal will be how do we get our mind to be still, right? Like stillness is something that people try to achieve when practicing yoga or meditation. 90% of the yoga is only on the mat. I know yoga na nama mat எடுத்துட்டு போய் கிளாஸ்ல பண்றது மட்டும் தான் யோகான்னு நினைக்கிறோம். ஆனா அது கிடையாது. Actually 90% of it is off the mat. So that is one part of the practice, but you continue to do that throughout your day. So there are 8 limbs of yoga. Nariya பேர் already practice பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பீங்க. At least some part of either exposed ஒரு class எடுத்திருக்கலாம், படிச்சிருக்கலாம். நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த exposure already இருக்கு because it's like the most hot topic today. Mindfulness and yoga. So எல்லாரும் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க, கேட்டிருப்பீங்க, கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க, practice பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பீங்க. This is basically the 8 limbs of yoga. First one, the moral code, yamas and niyamas. So moral code, murchi personal conduct, and then the mostly talked about is the postures and asana. Ingime nariya yoga studios irukku, and every day that's popping up with different styles, right? Aerial yoga, தொட்டில பண்றாங்க. There's also wine yoga and goat yoga. So in the pratyahara, sense withdrawal, ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் எந்த விதத்துல போய், so என்னோட ஆஃபீஸ்ல actually they were making fun saying, if you teach wine and yoga, I want to take it. And another person suggested, but do we do actually, isn't that against yoga practice? So basically, if you are going to use with sense withdrawal, wine and yoga, go for it. I'm not going to be able to teach that because that's not who I am. But if you find that to be your path to go there, go ahead, I guess. So that's what I told them. Asana, so pranayama, breath practice, and then meditation. Inge mostly Naraya yoga studios they basically focus here in this postures asana. Some studios touch on the pranayama and meditation, but there are spiritual centers that focus just purely on meditation. Yoga Nidra is also something that's coming up, which is similar to, that's also mindfulness practice. That is also becoming very famous. So this is, so our samadhi da nammaloda final stage, that is what we're striving to reach. So what are the different styles of yoga and how do you find what is the best for you? So some of the questions, I actually went around asking some of the questions, and a few came from my own students, commonly asked, varumbodhu enna typically kepanga itna yoga style irukku, edha practice panna solringa, what is best for you, right? So these are the different styles of yoga, and there is still more coming up every day around the corner. But basically the base is hatha yoga. 108 postures தான் இருக்கு மெயினா. அதுல இருந்து ஒவ்வொருத்தரோட ஸ்டைல் வச்சு I think they've developed different styles and then try to patent it. Same thing. Everybody should have heard about Bikram yoga too, where it's become a big controversy about the person. But always on the teacher, solli kudukra teacher worship பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா you see the essence of what you can get out of the, what are you there for in the class? And because mostly all these teachers get into, at some point, like, get into this controversial, and the man worship or teacher worship பண்றதுக்கு பதிலா see the content, right? See your goal purpose is to learn something and then just get that out and come, rather than focusing on their personal life or what they're up to. So vigorous flow, what are these different styles basically, right? So healing yoga is basically the Vini yoga, integrative yoga therapy, இதெல்லாம் வந்து healing yoga. Alignment based வந்து Iyengar, Anushara, which you've heard. And then this is, so spiritual growth, integral yoga. This is where I started my journey. And then I did learn all of these. So when you're doing advanced, they do touch on what are the different styles and how it's different from each other. So based on, I basically stick to the Hatha Yoga for like older generation people, and then Iyengar, because that is more therapy based. And then there is also the Ashtanga and Vinyasa. So these are the four things I circle between when I teach people. But again, எந்த style choose பண்றீங்கங்கிறது வந்து I think globally people are there, so I'm going to touch base on that. இந்தியால mostly integral and Iyengar தான் பண்றாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். இங்க நிறைய இருக்கு யூஎஸ்ல. எதை எடுத்துக்கிறது அப்படின்னா ஒவ்வொருத்தரோட ஸ்டைல் பொறுத்து இருக்கு. இப்போ நான் என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்டுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்கும்போது men in general typically like to sweat. So அப்போ power yoga or being in a hot room makes you sweat. So whatever makes you feel good is what's going to get you back to your mat tomorrow. So அதனால choose your style based on that. எந்த டீச்சரோட உங்களுக்கு சிங்க் ஆகுதோ, sometimes you have to have that relationship to be able to continue and go. So இது வந்து மாத்திரை போடுற மாதிரி, தலைவலிக்கு மாத்திரை போடுற மாதிரி போட்டோன்னு உடனே you won't see the difference. So இது eventually it's a long-term effect. But then the effect is not just physical, it's both mental and physical. So it's breath and movement together, right? So it takes time, but it is definitely beneficial, and I'm a living example for it. I definitely believe in it. But everybody has to participate and try it to see if that's something that you would stick with. So I would say try different styles if you have and find which one fits you. So when this COVID started about 2 to 3 weeks, March, திடீர்னு லாக்டவுன் வந்தப்ப நான் ஒரு இம்யூனிட்டி பில்டிங் யோகா சீக்வன்ஸ் போட்டு சோஷியல் மீடியால ஷேர் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். ஐ திங்க் அதை பார்த்து தான் தாமஸ் கேட்டாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். I'm not sure exactly where he saw this, but I did post this on social media because I wanted to help people. So I just shared my experience. As I said, I'm not saying this is what you need to do or this, I'm an expert at it. It was just a good intention to share the sequence, so it would help other people too. And I had a lot of people call me and talk and ask about, fear, anxiety, என்ன பண்றது, இது என்ன பண்ண போறோம். ஏன்னா uncertainty தான் அது. யாருக்குமே என்ன பண்ண போறோம் தெரியல. இன்னமும் they're deciding. In the school, for example, even for the kids, they said they're going to go back to hybrid. மறுபடியும் மாத்துனாங்க. இன்னும் every day it's changing. Monday இனி மறுபடியும் they went back from hybrid to online. நேர்ல வர சொன்னாங்க பாதி பேரை, இப்ப ஆன்லைனுக்கு மூவ் பண்றாங்க. So every day it's changing. Officers are also trying to decide. So இது என்ன பண்றதுன்னு தெரியாதப்போ, and the stability to have that something to root to resilience. Basically, how do you build your resilience, right? That is resilience என்னன்னா in the moving, how to stay positive irrespective of what's happening around us. And the resilience build panni, strengthen pannona, we'll be able to prepare ourselves not only today in this crisis, but also in the longer haul. So here is my sequence. I'm not going to walk you through this sequence basically, but I'll share the sequence and then we'll do some pranayama and I'll show some postures in the chair and we'll do a mindfulness practice at the end of it. So I do want to save time for that. I know we're already into 20 minutes, I think, since I started talking, but so this is the immunity building sequence. Basically meditation for 10 minutes. That's where I start. And then I always incorporate meditation, mudras, pranayama, and then postures, yoga nidra, and finally another round of meditation before I close the class. This is typically my style of teaching based on each student. So before I used to do group classes, then I'm more focused towards individual students. I have a doctor who's coming for anxiety because she's been treating so many COVID patients and really stressed out. There's also that fear of she getting it too. So எப்படி இதை டீல் பண்றது every day அந்த மாதிரி. And then another high school student who had anxiety going into a classroom and talking to other friends and where we are. A lot of people are under pressure too here, so the suicidal thoughts இருக்கு சில பேருக்கு. So அந்த மாதிரி students நிறைய பேர் வராங்க. So as I said, I'm focusing more on yoga therapy style of yoga right now. So second one, then I start with Apan Mudra. For this immunity building sequence, this mudra is really helpful. So either over 2 minutes, then I do the pranayama, which is the Anulom Vilom pranayama, alternate nostril breathing in other words. This is for 8 cycles. We will do this at the end of, in a little bit, like little later, you'll see this. I will run run this through everyone. And then, neck rotation, clockwise, anti-clockwise, then a child's pose for 6 breaths. This is Urdhva Hastasana, which is forward fold. And then Baddha Hastasana is just a variation of this. உடனே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எடுத்தோடனே இந்த தொட முடியுமா அப்படின்னா probably some people, everybody is at different level, but everybody can build, there's no age for flexibility. You can always build on it. Yes, you can certainly get flexible irrespective of what your age is. But it takes practice. Every day 15 to 20 minutes பண்ணோம்னா there will be a difference, you will see. But then it's supposed to be a consistent practice. So அந்த consistent-ஆ ஒரு 15-20 minutes தினமும் target பண்ணீங்கன்னா definitely you'll see a change. Uttanasana, this is also another variation of the previous one, forward folds in different so depending on different flexibility level, you can either be on the floor or hold your hand behind your legs and try to bring your head closer to your knees. Then this is down dog. It's a very fun pose to do with pets, dogs, like kids too. Everybody enjoys this pose, and it is got a lot of benefits too. Prasarita Padottanasana. அடுத்தது Tadasana and rabbit pose, Sasangasana. இது எல்லாமே வந்து இந்த throat region expand, like contraction and expansion. That's basically letting that fresh blood flow. This is where you see the difference. So all these poses are sequenced that way. Sometimes என்னோட slides next க்கு போக மாட்டேங்குது, so I'm kind of struggling with that. So if you see a delay, that's what it is about. So either Ardha Sirsasana, this is a half headstand. Headstand, as you know, nama Nehru kuda every day he'll do it for 1 minute definitely. Avaroda daily practice la irundhathu adu. It purifies your blood every day. Gravity it also actually it's an anti-aging pose kuda sollalam. So that fresh blood flowing through your head, anti-gravity pose. Inversions are always good. So either 30 breaths and you can slowly, this is only half headstand, but you can do a full headstand too. I was rooting for everybody, so kind of konja modified poses da idla potiruken. This is Pavan Muktasana. So stage 1 oru kaal mattum pandrathu, stage 2 rendu kaaliyum pandrathu. 6 breaths. Halasana, 10 breaths. Salamba Sarvangasana, 30 breaths. We're almost at the end. This is Akapada Sarvangasana. And every time you do an inversion like this, it is always good to balance it out with Matsyasana, where, here everywhere, as you see in the previous slides too, your throat is contracted. So here it's expansion that's happening right here. So either 1 minute பண்ணீங்கன்னா இது ஒரு 15 seconds பண்றது, it's always good. It's all about balance. And then Sedabandha Sarvangasana. So on the shoulder stand, headstand பண்ண முடியாதவங்களுக்கு, this is a very good start. This is also considered an inversion, and it's got tremendous benefits right from your lower back, strengthening your lower back, thighs and the internal rotation of the thighs. So there's a lot of cues that goes into it. If anybody's interested in the class, I have my email address, I think, at the end of the slide, where if you want to contact, or you can reach out to Thomas and get to me if you're interested in taking a class where we can go into detail in each of these poses. This is a waterfall block. This is again an inversion, but a modified inversion. So these blocks and props are basically what Iyengar yoga uses. And I totally believe in it too, because accessible poses, எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லா போஸும் accessible இருக்காது. So you use the props and eventually get out of the props. So and the props will help you get to that full to the full pose, and you slowly build on it. Again, this is another variation of that Sedabandha Sarvangasana, but with a block underneath. Variation of this pose, basically. A different way to do it. And then Finally, this is Savasana. Initially, classes less, so beginner students think this is a boring thing. So, ellaru inga eppa paru go on the goal irukradnala usually class mudinju end of the class la 15 minutes I do this Savasana. But beginners usually don't see the benefit of it and run out. Like they'll say they'll rush out. So people who have practiced and know this, ipo yoga nidra idana sonna yoga nidra now they specifically stay back for yoga nidra or have special classes for this. Because now there's more studies and there's neuroscience is backing up yoga and yoga nidra. So that is the end of that immunity sequence. And if anybody needs more information or want to see the sequence, not on Facebook or social media, if you want, you can reach out to me, or I can get on Facebook. Priya Gandhi is my name on Facebook too. If you want to see the sequence, it's available there in that platform. There's other things like everyday asanas, எப்படி நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி டைம் எடுத்து இப்படி 1 hour பண்ண முடியல, என்ன பண்ணலாம், அப்போ everyday என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, that's this is basically some of these things, free pose. I teach, this is how I started teaching the kids. Brush பண்றதுக்கு 2 minutes ஆகும் every day. So, when you're brushing on one side, basically you do the one leg and the other side and the other leg. So that covers your 2 minutes of, and the tree pose is very good for focus, which I told, focus is one of the 8 limbs of yoga too. So you slowly build on these daily poses. And then this chair pose is also, so if you've already been doing it, you know how difficult this chair pose is. It looks simple, but it activates a lot of muscles, your thighs, and your legs and your calves. It strengthens your lower back too. So either பண்றதுக்கு பார்க்க சிம்பிளா இருந்தாலும் பண்றதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம், but again, this is something that you can do it as a fun activity and keep building towards it. Countertop mela, this stretches the entire back of the leg. Hamstring tightness, nariya perku irukku, especially for us. A lot of people are sitting in the desk and doing computer jobs. So this is basically very, very helpful to stretch the hamstrings out. Hamstring tightness happens. Hamstring tightness nala there's other effects. Nama vandu, the way it speaks is basically, hunched shoulders is basically tight shoulder muscles. People who have tight psoas muscles, which is the hip, will have their bum sticking out. So these movements, patterns, these poor postures, right? Thungi endrichu kaluthu valikirudhu. Idu ellame vandu it's a reflection of tight muscles, tight joints somewhere. Hip lock, idu ellame dhaan idoda reflection. So, and the hamstrings ella loosen. And for any of these poses to actually work, it's also holding the pose longer, right? So typically 2 to 5 minutes hold பண்ணீங்கன்னா நல்லது. So இப்படி காலை மேல வச்சுட்டு, you're talking to somebody on the phone, you can put leg on a chair or a countertop or a table and then talk to them and have that 2 minutes happen. In the pinnadi vandu, if you try this is the Gomukasana. இது வந்து if you actually try, if you're right-hander, you'll feel that you were able to reach your right hand and a lot of the accessibility will be on your right hand. If you're a left-hander, your left hand interlocking the fingers, your right and left hand will happen. If you are a left-hander, the left side is more easy. So you start discovering yourself as you start practicing these poses. Again, this is a very good low back, nariya perukku low back pain varum. It's basically the movement patterns that, poor movement patterns that slowly lead to this as we age. So this is a good stretch for the low back pain. Malasana, இது நிறைய பேருக்கு inaccessible இருக்கும் இங்க typically because they don't not used to sit on the floor, but Indiaல நம்மளுக்கு இது it's a common practice, and I think முன்னாடி உள்ள Indian system, even the bathrooms are helps us build this throughout the process. But inga vandu this is a very difficult pose for people to access. Again, this opens up your hip, and it's a great hip opener. Hip tightness, back pain, idellame help pannu. Aids digestion, it tones your abdominal muscles, improves posture. So every pose has its own benefits. For pursuit of time, we're not going to go into the details of each of this. Next stretches, I think I already talked about in the immunity sequence. So I'm going to skip this slide. And here are some we can actually try. So I know everybody's sitting here, so I try to put something together that we can practice, even though we're sitting in a meeting. And I do this at work too, just to take a break. I run, I'm a Scrum Master Agile coach. And in order to just break the whole routine of running, it's always a fast-paced environment. So just to break it out, I do this in the meetings. So let's try one of this, the seated crescent moon pose in the lower left hand. I encourage everybody on this call to try it out with me. I will walk you through it. So as you're sitting, sit nice and tall. Lengthen your spine. Raise both your hands up over your head. Interlock your fingers. And then bring your index finger and point up towards the ceiling. Bring both your forearms towards your ears and hold it, and keep it close to your ears. Now, keeping this length in the spine without changing this length in the spine. Inhale, take a deep breath. Lift your fingertips like as if you're going to reach for the ceiling to touch the ceiling, and then slowly slide to your left.
I would recommend you to turn on the video rather than the PPT so that we can understand better.
Okay.
And yeah, usually our people are all shy. People who are practicing at home, it will be great if you can turn on the video. Don't worry, I won't click snaps.
Okay, so inhale, raise your arms up. I don't know if it covers fully. I think it's Naveen, right? So Naveen, I'm not sure if it's covering fully. So I'm, you can see what you can see, I guess, with the video. I'm not set up. So usually I do Zoom calls for classes, but I'm set up in a farther distance where I don't have to run a presentation. So, but I'll try my best. So basically, you're sitting nice and tall, interlocking both the hands. As I said, bring your forearms close to your ears. Extend, lengthen your spine. Inhale, raise your arms and touch, reach towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, since we did the left side, we're going to lean towards our right this time. And it might be a mirror image on your end. So again, don't try to loosen this or, change the posture. The spine is still lengthened. You're still maintaining the space on this side and the length, and you're just leaning towards your right. And then come back to the center. And then release your hands down. Another thing is, which I don't know if you could see, but basically you're going to take your right leg, place it on the top of your left knee. We're doing the chair pivot pose. This is a hip opening pose. So placing your leg on the left, right leg on the left knee. You're going to place your hands, left hand on your on the leg that's on the top, and then the right hand on the right knee, and slowly bend down. You should be feeling your stretch in your glutes and the lower leg, underside of the legs. Slowly come up. It's all about balance. So if you did the right side, switch your side and do the other leg. So take your left leg and place it on top of your right knee. Place your left hand on your left knee, right hand on your right feet. And then bend down. And then slowly come up. The seated twist is another good thing. So even if you're working throughout the day, there's a few things that I always do, even at work too. Twisting, right? So basically, take your left hand, place it behind your back. Take your right hand and place it on your left knee. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, you're going to twist towards your left. The twist starts here. So you start twisting from your abdomen, then your chest, then your shoulders, finally your neck and your head. And then slowly come out the same way you went in. Your head turns first, your shoulders, your middle abdomen, and then the lower abdomen. Same way we have to balance out on the other side. So place your left hand on your right knee, right hand behind your back. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, start twisting towards your right this time. And then come out of the pose when you're ready. So typically you'll hold this a little longer, but as you know, this is a webinar. I just wanted to show you a couple poses. Viparita Karani. Again, this is something that you can do just before you go to sleep for low back pain, leg pain, because you're standing. You know, some people have standing jobs and are on their feet for a long time. Some women end up cooking and standing in the kitchen for a long time and start getting ankle pain, feet pain. This is common. These are things that commonly, students ask me all the time. So this is a excellent. It's got tons of benefits. So definitely. You can, if you watch TV before you go to sleep or, whatever you're doing, at the end of the day, everybody will have 15 minutes at least, right? So put your feet up the wall, make sure it is close to the wall and your heel is up towards the ceiling. Sorry. Heel is up towards the ceiling, not your toes. So in the படத்துல இருக்கிறத விட கூட இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் heel extend பண்ணலாம் and your toes will be pointing towards you. And completely relax. I mean, this is a great pose too. So these are the few things, as I said, I'll just go through it quickly. So again, these are the few things that you can go do every day and start doing it from tomorrow onwards or today onwards to start incorporating these in the daily. Because I know you're not able to go to yoga classes. Inge nariya ella online move panitom. I don't know how it is in India or everywhere else. But if you're not able to go to the studio or practice, these are great ways to include it in your daily routine. We'll do some pranayama practice too, and then we'll do a mindfulness meditation at the end, and then I'll close the session. So breathing practice, I think we can go through 3 or 4. How are we doing on time? Is it okay? Should I just do one breathing practice and go to meditation, Naveen?
Sure, we can.
Okay, ma'am, sure.
You can proceed.
Okay, so breathing, pranayama, nariya per kepanga. I mean, it's definitely in respiratory, lung capacity increase pandukku and keeping your lungs healthy. It is definitely a good practice too. But இதை வந்து ஒழுங்கா பண்ண I mean, முறையா கத்துக்கலன்னா அதோட benefitsக்கு பதிலா there's a lot of precautions too. So pranayama mattum, if you're able to learn from a good teacher, basically somebody who's resourceful, know their background, how long they've been practicing. So idu correct up panna, definitely there's powerful ways to control your mind, body, nervous system and endocrine system. But done recklessly, if you're not doing, you can black out. Trepidation, anxiety attack. A lot of people end up with headaches, blood pressure, certain things avoid pananu. So I mean, again, in this, whoever's on this call too, if you have blood pressure or something, don't do this because I'm also rushing through this. அது கரெக்டா பண்ணணும், அதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் டைம் எடுத்து ஹிஸ்டரி கேட்டு எதனால வந்தது எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் டீட்டெயில்டா போகணும். அது இப்ப என்னால கால்ல பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு பிளட் ப்ரெஷர் எதுவும் இருந்ததுன்னா ப்ளீஸ் அவாய்ட் திஸ் pranayama practice that we're going to go into next. So breathing for most of us is automatic, controlled by autonomic nervous system, but you can override this automatic part and take control of your nervous system with these breathing techniques. So sometimes, initially na first velike poyela presentation I was even teaching a class, right? My first yoga class, I was basically stuttering. I knew what I was going to do. This was completely what my heart was. My heart was fully there. I wanted to teach. I'm very passionate about yoga, but when I was standing and doing my first class, I was stuttering. In the middle of the class, like I completely blacked out. I don't know what I was going to say next. So that in the breathing practice, this is what I used to use. Just before the class, I will do this balanced breathing. So let's do this together. Again, as I warned before, if you have any of these high blood pressure or anything, avoid it. In the balance breathing, there's anuloma, viloma, and the alternate nostril breathing, Bhastrika. The other pranayama practice, I would say, refrain from it. So when to practice this balance breathing? Go ahead.
No, if I am the cause of the blood pressure, that is right. Okay, I can practice, right?
Yes, you can. Only if you have blood pressure. Any blood pressure in the balanced breathing is always good. I'm talking about like more of the advanced one that comes in the in the following slides. But so you can do this anytime. It definitely helps with stress and anxiety, commute. Commute stress. Basically, it just brings you back to the steadiness. So inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. So let's sit nice and tall. So for any pranayama practice, the base is your sitting posture, right? So you can sit nice and tall, first of all. So you're not crunched up, or, your chest is not in a concave pose, or you're not hunching. So basically start the pose from the base, sit nice and tall, lengthen, keep your spine lengthened, shoulders towards the floor, head is centered. So kaluthai ipdi irundaduna கஷ்டமா இருக்கும் breathe பண்றதுக்கு. So when you're aligned properly, then you don't feel you have to move. So in the base one, the first important. So now we're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. 2 more rounds on your own. Inhale and exhale. So again, this is very powerful, and you can do it any time of the day. If you are up, it'll bring you down. If you're down, it'll bring it up. Basically, what it means is it'll bring you to balance. So if you've completed your 2 rounds, we can go to the next one. Extended exhalation, right? Again, pranayama வந்து எல்லா பிராணாயாமமும் எல்லா டைம்லயும் பண்ண முடியாது. அதனால தான் நான் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா கால் அவுட் பண்றேன். அந்த ப்ரீவியஸ் பேலன்ஸ் ப்ரீதிங் வந்து எப்ப வேணாலும் பண்ணலாம். இந்த extended exhalation வந்து தூங்கத்துக்கு முன்னாடி 10 rounds or until you fall asleep. So this is inhale for 4 counts, and you're going to exhale for 8 counts. So again, sit nice and tall, and let's begin together. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely empty your stomach. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completely emptied out. So basically, what this does is stimulates your parasympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate drops, your blood pressure drops. It's useful as a sleeping aid. தூக்கம் வரல, insomnia, என்னால படுக்க முடியல, படுத்தா தூக்கம் வர மாட்டேங்குது, எந்திரிச்சு உட்கார்ந்துக்கிறேன்னா, it's always good to practice this before you sleep. Again, you have to use it with care too. Next one, Kapalapati. இது நிறைய பேர் பண்ணுவீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Commonly taught, it's called a skull shining breath. Free facial மாதிரி தான் basically. இது ஒரு 60 times every day பண்ணோம்னா அந்த முகத்துல அந்த பொலிவு நல்லா தெரியும். Facial போயிட்டு வந்த ஒரு எஃபெக்ட் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா வந்துரும். So it's a skull shining breath, right? So it's forceful exhalation. இந்த பிராணாயாமாக்கு வந்து you're not going to focus on your inhalation. Your focus is basically totally on your exhalation. So forcefully you're going to exhale. Again, sit nice and tall. It'll feel like a sneeze, basically. So sit nice and tall. Put your right hand on your belly and your left hand on top of your right hand. Basically, just to feel that sensation of how your belly is, pulling inside. That's what you have to feel. And this you'll mostly feel in this lower abdomen part. Angada, you have to feel it, not in your chest part. So inhale and then exhale. And that's how you do this. Continue. I'll just talk you through this. So in the இது வந்து snap breath மாதிரி வரும். So tuck ன்னு போயிட்டு இருக்கும். You can slowly increase the speed. 60 times per day இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம். 20-20ல பிரேக் எடுத்துக்கலாம். ஏன்னா கண்டினியூஸா பண்ணா கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். If you're a beginner, then you can do 20, then take a break, 20, take a break, 20, take a break. Throughout the day, you can do this when you're driving your car. Again, இது வந்து blood pressure இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் sometimes giddiness வரும், தலை சுத்தும். So அதனால தான் சொல்றேன், practice with somebody who's already done it and been practicing for a while, so they can help you with this. ரொம்ப பண்ணாலும் it'll agitate, it'll put you in an agitated mood. அதனால தான் சிலது இதை வந்து you don't do it when you know before you sleep, because you want your nervous system to calm down. Last section that I had planned for today was the mindfulness practice. So in the mindfulness practice one, this is basically the meditation, right? If everybody's ready, I mean, this is the end of the session. Actually, if anybody has any questions, because I'm going to finish this mindfulness practice, and then if people want to continue through this, it's basically once I put you into that meditation mode, if you want to continue to stay longer, you can stay longer. So if that's the questions, and that maybe quicker or 5 minutes, we can just go over it. And then I'll walk you through this mindfulness practice. Does anybody have any questions so far? I'll take a pause here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Priya, I just had a question. Okay, so now you've shown us like things that we could do, right? So now we're going into meditation, some postures, breathing, etc. So question would be, is there any rule on which you need to start with and which you need to go through, or is it like I could start if I'm comfortable with exercises? I feel I could start with that. If I'm comfortable with the breathing posture, I could start with that. Is there any
No, அதான் நான் ஆரம்பத்துல சொன்னேன்ல, அந்த ஸ்லைட் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது our basic goal is to go to samadhi, right? People will just do asanas complete skip பண்ணி நேர meditation மட்டுமே பண்ணுவாங்க சில பேர். So basically அந்த stillness of your mind, அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம மெயினா, that's our end goal. So அது எந்த வழியில வேணாலும், அதான் நான் சொன்னேன், wine yoga, goat yoga, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Any style of yoga too. ஸோ இதுதான் பண்ணணுங்கிறது இல்லை. உங்களால பேசிக்லி இந்த பாஸ்டர்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, நம்ம அப்படி ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்டா மெடிடேஷன்ல இப்போ வந்து ஆக்சுவலி நான் ஈவன் when I'm teaching meditation class I say உட்கார்ந்து பண்ணுங்கிறதுல படுத்துட்டு பண்ணலாம். யூ ஹேவ் டு பில்ட் தட், ரைட்? ஸோ இப்படி எல்லாம் உட்கார்றதுக்கு மைண்ட் வேவரிங் ஒன்று, இன்னொன்று பாடி அகாமடேட் பண்ணணும் பேசிக்லி அப்படி உட்கார்றதுக்கு. ஸோ அதுக்கு வந்து அதனால தான் அந்த யோகா பாஸ்டர்ஸ்லாம் பண்றோம். Eventually, when you're aligned totally, you will also see, and the alignment, and that's why I like the Iyengar yoga too. And the Iyengar, Anushara, Ashtangala is very alignment based. So adu enna pannuna, when you're aligned your body, when you're aligning from your root of the base of the body, kaal irundhu thala varaikum correct ah align panni ukkanduttona ரொம்ப நேரத்துக்கு உட்கார முடியும். இல்லைன்னா கழுத்து வலிக்கும், இடுப்பு வலிக்கும், ரொம்ப நேரம் உட்கார முடியாது. அதனாலதான். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வந்து இப்போ நேர ஆசனாஸ்ல ஆரம்பிக்கணும்னா டெஃபினெட்லி ஸ்டார்ட் வித் தட்.
Oh, all right. Priya.
Hi Priya, this is Padma. Yeah. So a quick question. Usually we maybe after hearing such session we would definitely want to take this up and start with a big enthusiasm, but down the line when days move along, we could have a break for whatever said reasons. So what is the effect or impact if I start this for maybe I practice this for a month's time, and then for some reasons I'm not able to do this for the next 10 days? Does that mean anything? Yeah.
No, okay. It should be okay. You'll see the benefits when you're doing it, and you'll see that you're not doing it and don't get it. Na summerla usually break edupen. I don't teach classes in the summer only because our summers are short here in Chicago. So we do like to do like gardening, pulling a lot of vella pod. So I do take that break and then only start back in fall. So adanala ipo dance la per solvanga dance aadittu vittingana wait panniru andha madala idu kadiyadu. As I said, it's both it's a breath and movement together, right? So you will see the difference actually. You'll feel lighter, you'll feel more energetic. Exercise பண்ணிட்டு வந்தோம்னா டயர்டா இருக்கும். ஆனா யோகா உங்களுக்கே ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அந்த 10 நாள் போச்சுன்னா ஐயோ நான் பண்ணும்போது நல்லா இருந்தது, பண்ணலையே, அந்த டிரைவ் தானே இன்டர்னலி வரும் உங்களுக்கு அது பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சீங்கன்னா. So at least I would say, consistent 3 to 6 months first பண்ணிட்டு அப்பதான் அந்த பெனிஃபிட் ஃபீல் பண்ணுவீங்க. ஸோ நம்ம especially I think this is a lady who's asking, so I'm going to say, because I'm in that shoes and I know this will be the first thing that you would drop because it only benefits you. But that is not true though. It doesn't benefit just you. ஏன்னா நம்ம கோவம் வர்றது கூட அதை எப்படி ரியாக்ட் பண்றோங்கிறது இந்த யோகா will help even mellow that down. So even the family around. ஆனா என்னன்னா this is your practice, right? It is your time. So time இல்லைன்னா முதல்ல நம்ம இதை தான் drop பண்ணுவோம். Typically, and I used to do that too. So I know it happens. It is practically, so it is basically discipline, right? Yoga is also a discipline. நம்ம வந்து இதை பண்ணணும் நினைச்சு பண்ணணும். Drop it நால ஒண்ணும் ஆகாது. You will feel the change internally and you'll want to do it.
Okay, so one more question. I'm not sure whether you covered this or I missed this. Maybe I missed this probably, but just want to make sure. Is there any specific part of the day that we need to do this, or it's like no hard and fast rule? I can do it anytime as I wish. Is it before 4 or before meal, after meal?
Typically you start yoga practice in an empty stomach. That's why the best time to do yoga is as soon as you wake up in the morning, right? So start with the Surya Namaskaram. I say rumba busy irundinga, at least Surya Namaskaram is definitely first. I wanted to show, but I know we don't have time today. Surya Namaskaram is a set of 12 postures. So adu mattum kuda pannittu start pannalam. Adu complete head to toe ella partiyum cover pannum, and it makes you feel good right away as soon as you wake up. So காலையில பண்றது பெஸ்ட், நைட் பண்றது பெஸ்ட். But there are some poses நான் அந்த Malasana காமிச்சேன்ல where you sit down way to the floor. அது வந்து anytime during the day you can do it. So there are certain poses, certain pranayama practices that it can be done irrespective of the time or day. But typically yoga practice நீங்க 1 hour dedicate பண்ணி உங்களால பண்ண முடியும். எப்ப நான் ஆரம்பிக்கணும்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா definitely I would recommend morning time.
Okay, one last question. Sorry if I'm one last question.
No, go ahead. இது பேசிக்கலி நீங்க மட்டும் இல்ல நிறைய பேர் கேக்குற கேள்வி. So I think மத்தவங்க எல்லாம் குவைட்டா இருந்தாலும் இது அவங்களுக்கு பெனிஃபிட் ஆகும் நினைக்கிறேன். So definitely go ahead.
Okay, one last question. So இந்த ஆர்வத்துல வந்து, because this is like more like an online class nowadays, right? Or I see Google or I see somebody do it and I try repeating it. So there can be chances that I sprain or something goes wrong. And in that case, should I continue or should I take a break, or what should I do in that case?
You should. So whoever the teacher is in the front, they're only a guide there, right? You are always your own teacher. Anytime, any day, irrespective of what class you're going, whether it's yoga or exercise, anytime, you are your own teacher. Unga body la enna nadakudhu ungalku dhaan theriyum. Na class solli kudukumbodhe I'll say I'm here only to guide, but you be your own teacher. If I'm saying put your knee in alignment with your ankle, and if you have a knee pain and you don't want to speak up in front of the rest of the class and say, call out that you have a knee pain, then அது என்னன்னு தெரியல. நம்ம இந்தியால basically people don't want to share something is wrong, like ஏதாவது உடம்பு வலிக்குது, they don't want to disclose that, and I do respect that. That's why I say be your own judge, right? So if that's not what you want to do, I always say class ஆரம்பிக்கும் போதே சொல்லுவேன், ஏதாவது breath உங்களுக்கு அது எப்ப தெரியும்னா அந்த பெயினுக்கும் stretching there's a thin line of difference, right? When you start realizing that it is hurting you, you stop. I always say 3 poses, right? I start with the 3 poses saying child pose and the Savasana. ஏதாவது போஸ்ல நீங்க உங்க breath strain ஆகுது இல்ல உங்களால பண்ண முடியல அப்படின்னா go back into the child's pose or Savasana and rest. And then I go to that student and talk and ask. அதனால தான் நான் இப்போ இந்த group class actually ரொம்ப நான் விட்டுட்டேன். Unless somebody requests, I do it. Otherwise, it's mostly one-on-one classes. That is how it was started. நம்ம yoga tradition India start பண்ணது basically it's meant to be one-on-one. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's bone-to-bone connection is different. ஸோ நான் ஒரு போஸ்ட் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் வந்து ஒரே மாதிரி கண்டினியூஸா ஒரு 100 பேருக்கு பண்ணும்போது ஒவ்வொருத்தரோட உடம்பு ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரி இருக்கும். எனக்கு நாங்க வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை வில் டூ த 108 sun salutation. அந்த ஸ்டேஜ்ல நின்று when I'm teaching அவங்க 108 தடவை அதை தப்பா பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னா எனக்கு அங்க இருந்துட்டு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். I can't go and correct everybody. It is impossible for me to. So I stepped away from doing those group classes basically and started doing more of one-on-one and private, semi-private session. I'm teaching a family actually whose husband and wife are coming. Husband had a heart surgery and is recovering back. So the wife is also joining. So and the madri.
Okay, thank you so much for that time, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank Yeah.
Priya ma'am, question ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead, Shinba.
மேம் சூரிய நமஸ்காரம் மட்டும் ஒரு 20 டைம்ஸ் டெய்லி பண்ணோம்னா அது மட்டும் போதுமா மேம்?
மட்டும் போதுமானா obviously I will say no. ஆனா அதுல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமான்னு டெஃபினட்டா அது மட்டும் தான் என்னால பண்ண முடியுது இன்னைக்கு அப்படின்னா டெஃபினட்டா that actually வேற ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியலன்னா I always recommend சூரிய நமஸ்காரம் in the morning like so.
ஸ்வெட்டிங் ஆகுதுங்க மேம். ஒரு 20 டைம்ஸ் பண்ணுனா அதுவே நல்லா ஸ்வெட்டிங் ஆகுது. அது மட்டும் போதும்.
அது மட்டும் போதும்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன். அதான் சொல்றேன். உங்களால அது மட்டும் அதுக்கு தான் டைம் இருக்கு. நான் அத மட்டும் பண்றேன்னா டெஃபினட்டா பண்ணுங்க. As I said, it covers your head to toe. It stretches every single body muscle in your, so it is definitely beneficial. That's the only thing that you can spend time on today. So be it. At least you're doing it. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, this is Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one question, ma'am. Ma'am, it's small story club with a question, ma'am. See, like when I see the epic Puranas and stuffs like that, I am able to understand that Lord Shiva is into yoga meditation and he's called as the Adi Yogi. Similarly, Nabigal Nayagam also somewhere I have read he is into meditation, and Jesus Christ, of course, in Bible I have gone through that. He has also put up some 40 days meditation and done something. So my point is that whenever I see and hear somebody is doing yoga gurus, all are affiliated with one religion. So that is, as we know. So my doubt is that whether yoga is having a religion.
No, it is beyond religion. Inga vanda typically, because of this one reason, nobody talks about gods or religion here. You have mixed group of people coming here, right? So now under 3 years, I was a social media manager for one of the yoga studios. And we very conscious about what we post because we don't want to turn people off with religion, right? It is not a religion based either. It happened to be from the Hindu side, that the panna arambichadu basically according to the scripts and books, that's what it says. But ella India la poi I think even China la kuda there's mindfulness practices big, but then they do have a lot of Indian what do I say? Like people who travel from here has been there promoting that too. But I don't want to get into all of those. But it is beyond religion. Definitely yoga is beyond religion. So typically we don't talk about religion. We talk about the practice. We talk about the goal is basically stillness. That's how I focus on. I am Hindu, but I don't I don't incorporate my religion and my yoga practice together.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Akka. Thank you so much. Romba interesting ah pogudha. I just want to ask. Now I am also from Coimbatore. Integral yoga la ponunte romba asapatten. But from home, I have been to 2-3 sessions outside also. But I always leave because of one reason. Every time I start, every time I leave. So how many days will it take I get more interested in doing yoga?
எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கட்டாய் கேட்டுச்சு ரோஹிணி. எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கட்டாய் கேக்குது. I didn't catch the actual reason for you to leave. I heard that you practice and you left the classes because of கேக்குதா ரோஹிணி?
Cramps. ஆமா, because of leg cramps.
Cramps. நீங்க so yoga பத்தி நம்ம நிறைய பேசணும், but yoga மட்டும் இல்ல, there's nutrition also involved, right? Like it's supposed to be a holistic system. I know we don't have time to cover that part, but உங்களுக்கு cramps வந்துச்சுன்னா magnesium maybe கொஞ்சம் குறைச்சிருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Try eating bananas every day. Banana சாப்பிடுவீங்களா every day?
Not every day, but
I so that bananas is actually good. It helps with the cramps. So enna postla பண்ணும்போது அந்த cramp வருதுன்னு you have to start noticing. So maybe you can connect with me offline. I can Thomas கிட்ட number இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So if you want we can take this offline and discuss it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Any other questions, or we can go into this mindfulness session?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, go ahead.
you answered that. A few in our chat have requested your contact number. So with your permission, I'll be able to, share with them, ma'am.
Yes, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. This is Vani Vasan from Coimbatore.
Yes.
I would like to know, is there only one mode of Kapalapati being practiced all over? Is there any other variations available here? Because I've gone to Sky Yoga here in Coimbatore. I've learned in one of my friends. So she taught me in a different way, this Kapalapati, like Mola Bandham. She's got a lot of things. So is there anything that we have different modes of Kapalapati? I would like to know.
So Kapalapati வந்து அந்த forceful exhalation அதுதான் base practice. As I said, நான் உங்ககிட்ட ஆரம்பத்துல அந்த class, I don't know if you were there in the beginning of the session, and the different yoga styles சொன்னேன்ல. So basically, our base is, somebody who initially put this into text was only 108 postures தான். But if you go and practice everywhere, people put their own style into it, and that's creativity basically, right? I don't discourage it at all. So it might be a different variation that she's teaching you. And there could be different reasons for it. So, in the curiosity தான் நீங்க வந்து நேரா அந்த டீச்சர்ட்ட கேட்கணும், நான் இதுதான் நான் பார்த்திருக்கேன், what is this, why is it different? Because there's always a reason behind anything that they're doing, right? So without being in that class or without connecting with that teacher, I cannot speak for it basically. But the Kapalapati basically from the scripts of the olden scripts in the ancient way that it's practiced is the one that I taught you. It's forceful exhalation. But everybody, starts their own variation to it.
Yeah. See, I do have a vertigo problem. So is that we can continue with the Surya Namaskaram, or like I felt my doctor says that if you have vertigo problem without your next postures, whatever it is you can do, he said. Is it like that? Anything to overcome that, override that with the yoga? I just wanted to know, man.
Definitely. Ana அதுதான் நீங்க irrespective of what I am saying, what the doctor is saying, what the books are saying, what you're reading, what the media is saying, you are your own teacher at any day, right? So you have to நீங்க அதை பண்ணும்போது நான் அந்த I think it was Sneha or Rohini, somebody who had asked the question. Basically, you have to be your own teacher and say, இதை பண்ணும்போது எனக்கு கழுத்து வலிக்குது, அப்போ then that's where அதுதான் இந்த மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸ். நான் மெடிடேஷன் கூட ஏன் மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸ் பிராக்டிஸ்னா, இந்த யோகாவே பொதுவாவே இட்ஸ் மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸ் மூவ்மெண்ட், ரைட்? அந்த மைண்ட்ஃபுல்னஸ் பேசிக்லி நம்ம சும்மா கடனுக்கு சாப்பிட்றதுக்கு பதிலா சாப்பிடும்போது அது என்ன சாப்பிடுறோம், சலைவா எப்படி, the whole process when you start doing that mindfulness practice, அப்போதான் you'll start connecting more with your body. That is basically the goal of this, right? You'll start being more present. So நீங்க பண்ணும்போது கழுத்து வலிக்குதா, இதை பண்ணும்போது கழுத்து வலிக்குது, வேற எங்கெல்லாம் கழுத்து வலிக்குது, or அந்த you start noticing that, and then we can do like எதனால வருது. Even when you go to the doctor, வயித்து வலிக்குதுன்னு நீங்க சொல்லி போனீங்கன்னா, they're basically going to ask you 100 different questions, right? ஏன்னா the source of that pain could be different places and it's reacting there. So on the vertigo kuda, my father-in-law also has it, so I know it's different for different people. So basically you have to start observing where it is, what is triggering it and all that, and it's a whole different other than maybe we can connect offline. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Wonderful presentation. Thank you for all the information given. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Any other questions?
I'm back. Padma here.
Yeah.
As we just talk about this, nothing to do with the sessions, nothing offensive here. Because now health being or put into the prime importance even after COVID, people have started to understand the importance of health and being fit. Has yoga classes become a business, or how do we know? Or is it, like I hear that you have done a certification, or you're a certified yoga teacher. So how do we know, or how do we gauge that is the right yoga class that I'm doing? Because now it's all online. Initially, maybe we had a physical classes where we were face to face, we were present there to know how the teacher is doing it, and we had the strategy or the way classes were handled were different then, but now it's more of online. Correct. So how do we know, or how do we choose? What do I need to check before I join any class?
There is no way to, I mean, so yoga alliance இருக்கு எல்லாமே basically பணம் பண்றதுதான் வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். Certified yoga instructor registration, you know, and every year we have to renew the certification. I actually stopped renewing the certification because I'm not, that it doesn't benefit beyond that part. So how do you find out, you know, if this registered teacher is a, you know, good yoga teacher? Basically what I told initially was the same thing, right? You go to a class, you connect with a teacher, you know, whether it's online or you know, I wouldn't recommend group classes yoga online, but definitely one-on-one classes, certainly the same way, right? So the teacher knows you individually as a person, starts observing you, and you know, tailors the class for you. Then there's that teacher-student relationship and connection, and it's catered towards your benefit basically. So you can work with the teacher, ask, no, this is not working out, you know, I'm getting either பண்ணுங்க எனக்கு tired இருக்கு இந்த sequence பண்ணும்போது I felt like this, my eye was hurting here. So on the one-on-one relationship, that's why I you know, so basically registration pananda every year, I think it's about 150. So even if you go, I can say go online and check if there is a registered teacher, right? So basically they would check where they learned from, what they learned, they'll review their project and whatnot, and then add you to the registration, but that's all they do. Beyond that, it is also the personal passion that the teacher has, or you know, how much they're continuing to learn. அதெல்லாம் உங்களால gauge பண்ண முடியாது. You're going there for உங்களுக்கு already 1008 வேலை இருக்கும்போது you're trying to give your 1 hour time for a yoga class, and to do this analysis and research is not in your hands. So it is basically trying out different classes, see if you feel the connection with that teacher. You will just follow your heart basically, right? Like you will know when this teacher works out. A teacher could be doing this for 20 years, you know, be really good at what she's doing, but it might not be the right teacher for you basically. So there's no way to gauge, is this teacher good for me? It's basically, are you progressing? What is the outcome that you want to get? Are you getting that outcome? That is what your goal should be. That's where your focus should be.
Yeah, so maybe my shortest or shortcut would be to hear it from a friend saying that, hey, I joined this class and it worked for me. And I
it
would
might
just,
work for your friend, but not for you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So you have
yeah,
to
yeah,
try
exactly,
it yourself. You have to try it for yourself. That is this with this yoga. That's what it is. You know, because sometimes அதான் நான் சொல்றேனே, நான் எங்க வீட்லயே 4 பேரும் 4 விதமா இருப்போம் நாங்க. You see that, right? As a mother, you will see it. You have extended family. You see different people are, you know, people observation is one of the classes that was done in you know, during the yoga teacher training. Anatomy madri, people observation also. We actually went and sat in front of Walmart and was observing people, you know, people watching. So it doesn't always, you know, it's not a click like in just pick. Same thing as sending students to kids to the school, right? Teacher will teach only one way, but now you know, and it's backed up by evidence too, that every child learns in a different way. So the structure of, you know, first grade la இந்த syllabus லாம் cover பண்ணனும்னு அந்த புள்ளைக்கு திணிக்கும்போது அது பண்ண முடியுமா முடியாதாங்கறது nobody's we don't have the educational system that way. Same thing with yoga too. It is definitely a personal connection that you have to connect for you to want to go back again. And internally, if you feel good and you know, you see the benefit, that's when you would go back to the class again. So definitely it's a teacher-student relationship.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much for your patience
No worries.
in answering my questions. And I believe that's all that you got it from yoga. Thank you so much for answering it with a smile. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no worries. Happy. I get asked all the time, so used to do.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I think 2 hours ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Should we go? Naveen, Thomas, should we do the meditation, or is it time? How is the audience feeling?
The meditation.
We can? Okay. Okay, so let's begin that. I will walk you through the steps, right? So if anybody wants to leave, I would recommend leaving now rather than in the middle of it. But I, you know, in typically physical class, I would online learning but நேர்ல இருக்கும்போது I always say this, just to not disturb the rest of the students who are, you know, trying to get into the stillness stage. So let's begin. I am.
Ma'am, as I understand, like this will be the last part of your presentation, and Yeah. So, but officially, shall I do the closing remarks, and after that, can you continue with the practice session, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead, Thomas. Yes, because I do want to leave people in this, if somebody wants to continue, once I get them to that stage, they can continue. That's why I wanted this to be the last session. So go ahead.
Okay. Vasanth sir, shall I go with the closing remarks?
Yes, Thomas, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Priya Gandhi ma'am, for the wonderful session on yoga during COVID times. Really interesting to note many important points what I've delivered, and about the invite we extended to you. Like we really understand that because I was not known to you, maybe now as a secretary, but I addressed you with the Secretary Alumni Association, and you readily accepted the invite. And thanks for that, ma'am. That shows the true love towards the alma mater. Wonderful representation from 96 2000 batch, ma'am. Thank you, audience, for joining us. As we know, this is the webinar number 9, webinar talk series number 9. We have every Sunday 6 to 6:40. So next week we have from 2001 batch triply, Nagarajan sir. And after that, then very next week, third Sunday, we have Dr. Ram Subramaniam sir from the first batch. And the fourth Sunday is our annual general body meeting as well as annual alumni meet. So we have planned that. We have yet to release the flyers. So we request to join for all the sessions, and we do have some competitions planned for the annual alumni meet on August 23rd. So I hope you have enjoyed this particular webinar talk series, and thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for reaching out. And I was hesitant, actually, to be honest, initially, but I did take it on. நான் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்லல, ஆனா நான் பண்ண முடியுமா, like with everything else. But I know this will benefit, and I like sharing that. நான் benefit பண்ணது மத்தவங்களுக்கும் benefit ஆகும்னு தான். Maybe if 10 people from this webinar go and start practicing yoga, I'll be happy. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So that's how I was here. But thank you so much for putting this together. And all the webinar series too, நான் எதுவும் இது வரைக்கும் attend பண்ணல. But Anna, I think it's a great effort, and I really appreciate it. Just like how everybody else adapted to this, this just came to us. Suddenly everything flipped over. But to be able to connect, I think we're connecting more with this technology than we used to connect before. So I definitely appreciate all the efforts that's going into this.
Thank you for the next.
Yes, as once again, as Thomas has said, August 23rd, normally it will be a participation from Coimbatore members alone. This year we expect a global participation from all our alumni. Please inform to your friends, and let us make this 23rd, August 23rd, the parent chapter meet a grand success.
Sure, sir.
All right, so should we move on? Are we good to move on?
Yes, Akka, yes, we are good to move on.
Okay, so, as we talked about, so mindfulness, this is a practice that dates back to thousands of years, right? So it's become a trendy topic now. It's making headlines in all kinds. Meditation app, yoga studio, there's scientific write-ups, and there's marketing campaigns. It seems to be everywhere, but at the same time, nowhere. Because the intention of this mindfulness was to become fully aware of the present moment, which is now. And it's also a practice of non-judgmental awareness, right? And that heightened attention beyond those mats. That's why I say 90% of the yoga is practiced off of the mat. So on the asanas, tavara matadum irukku. That's why the goal is mindfulness and stillness. So attention might be the most precious commodity today in our modern world, right? Given that we're constantly being distracted by the phone notifications and pings, we're spending about 4 hours hunched over our phone, 6 hours on our computer laptop, and then 1 hour maybe ipo drive panla, but typically, you'd be out in the road driving. So it is often rare for us to bring our intention and attention into any one thing. It's become a very instant gratification, right? Screens change so quickly. We're all stuck to this phone screen. So quick Facebook likes and Instagram likes, and information's everywhere, and these pings and notifications is making it more harder to draw this attention to one particular thing. So this is precisely why we need mindfulness and why we may be gravitating towards it now. So with the celebration of busyness, we are becoming less and less to be present. So as busy people, naturally, we often put a practice like mindfulness on our to-do list, and it becomes just one more meaningless item among the seeming endless activities and errands that we have throughout the day. So we shouldn't look at it as a task that we need to accomplish. It's a way of being, basically. So, and as most of you already know, that it reduces your stress, anxiety, and even depression. It is all over tabs, and doctors recommend it too. So needless to say, this is a powerful practice, and it's worth exploring because it was originally intended to be explored anywhere you are, irrespective of whether you're in a class or not. Wherever you are, you can practice this mindfulness. So how do we practice this, in the middle of everything, in the middle of being busy? There are 6 steps that you could do. First of all, step number 1, you're going to drop everything. What that basically means is, if you want to become present, you have to commit to presence. So remove all of the distractions that you can and commit to simply being with yourself for whatever period that you've allotted. Let's say today it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I always say typically, 3 minutes, it's multiplication of 3. 3 and the 6 around 9, you can just continue going. So whatever time period that you want to allot, you can do that. It doesn't need to be 4 hours. Even, that 3 minutes that I said is extremely helpful. So then turn off your phone. You can't turn off your laptop, but basically what I'm trying to get to you is, stay away from those distractions, right? So we're disconnecting all those distractions. And if you're practicing, இன்னைக்கு இப்போ லேப்டாப்ல இருக்கீங்க, but if you're practicing outside of this class, you could basically put a, do not close your door, or put a do not disturb sign, or, let your kids and family around you know that you're going to be doing this for 10 minutes, so please don't disturb. And the mother solite, make sure you get that undivided attention first that you can give to yourself. Second point is you're going to get comfortable. So you can sit on a chair, you can sit in the sofa, you can sit on the floor, lean against the wall for support until, so just so you're not getting out of it because of your body pain, that you're not able to sit for a long time. So pick a posture, comfortable position that you can sit for that allotted time period that you have in your mind. And some people can even stand and do this. But typically your goal is your goal that you want to reach is to be in the middle of the floor with no support at one day. So find a comfortable position, and so you can settle into that moment with ease. Then number 3, you're going to become aware, right? So now wherever you are, just look around, observe your surroundings, truly seeing and talking in what's around you, in taking what's around you. So you might, for example, look at everything that's yellow, or look at everything, pick a color and scan the room around to pick everything that's in that color. Or scan for everything that's circular shape, or rectangle shape, or square shape. Pick something and observe it around you. Go slowly and systematically, though. It's not a competition or a race, so take your time. Now allow this simple observation to bring you to a more heightened state of awareness. Move on to the next step. So you're aware of your surroundings now. Now you're going to draw your awareness inside. So once you've scanned the surroundings, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Experiment which option you prefer, or maybe try both on different occasions, okay? So today, just pick whichever option you feel comfortable for today, either completely closing your eyes or having a soft gaze. Soft gaze is nothing but your eyes is, partially closed and you're focused on some object or something in front of you. And then you're going to become aware of your sensations in your body, okay? So slowly scan from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. And take note of what you feel along the way. Take your time and experience everything. Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel freedom? Where do you feel neutral? Where do you feel tired? Maybe sore? Where do you feel open? Or where do you feel relaxed? So experience everything, but avoid assigning meaning to any of these sensations, right? So let's say your back is hurting. Don't say my back is sore because I lifted up something yesterday. So don't start associating those meanings with it. You're only observing here. Just become a neutral observer. Simply notice. You just say there's soreness in my back. That's all. That's where it stops. But observe, feel the experience. So once we are in this internal awareness, now we're going to go to the next step, which is retreat to your breath, right? Your focus will shift to your breath. So after you've scanned your whole body, bring your awareness to your breath. Become very aware as of its movements and how it flows through your body, right? So observe its pattern and rhythm. Don't change your natural breath. We are not inhaling or exhaling for a certain number of time or anything. You're just going to observe your breath for now. Just observe the pattern. When does your chest rise? When does your chest fall? Is your belly moving with your breath? Where is the air entering through your body? Where is it exiting? How does the breath feel? Is it hot or cold? How quickly does your breath move? What is its depth? Is it loud? Is it soft? Is it labored? Is it relaxed? Become acutely aware of every aspect of its ebb and flow. Avoid trying to change the rhythm because that's not where our focus is for today. You're going to simply observe its natural pace. Avoid trying to assess meaning to any observations that you may find. You're going to observe without any judgments or assumptions. If at any point your mind starts to wander to your to-do list or other unnecessary thoughts in this moment, simply tell your mind, not now, I will get back to this later. And bring your attention back to your breath. Come back to your observations. So don't beat yourself during this process. Don't beat yourself up for straying thoughts. Acknowledge that your thoughts changed focus and simply bring it back to your focal point of breath. Be kind to yourself. For those who wish to continue, you can just continue with the simple practice as long as it serves you for the allocated time that you set yourself at the beginning of this practice. For those who want to come out, the last step of the process is how to slowly come back out of it, right? So finally, when you're ready to continue with your day, you will slowly and mindfully move your extremities to reawaken your physical body. So flutter your eyes open if you have them closed, and then re-establish your focus on the world around you, your surroundings. Become fully aware of what's around you. From there, you're going to make a conscious decision to stay as present as possible throughout the rest of the day. So as your day unfolds, observe every moment with this new sense of enhanced attention. So typically, like, let's say you're going to go to bed, or you're brushing your teeth. Notice the smell of your toothpaste. Hear the sound of the brush that's rubbing against your teeth. Taste the mint flavor of your toothpaste. So, and then, or let's say you're washing your dishes. Notice how the soap feels on your skin, right? How it lathers. Feel the temperature of the water. When you're eating, observe the muscular contractions of your jaw. Savor the flavors on your taste buds. Absorb all this presentation, the sense of the meal, right? The smell from the meal. As much as you can, remain fully present at the moment as it unfolds. So we need mindfulness now more than ever. In our always go, go, go society, being still is an anomaly and being present is a dying art. But when we spend our entire lives rehashing the past or planning for the future, we may miss the entire experience of being alive, which unfolds only in the present moment. So as somebody said, I don't know who, who it came from, but somebody, I think it's Jason or someone. So he basically said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So it is being present. So I encourage all of you to continue practicing this presence in everything that you do and start being mindful. Thank you very much for being in this session and supporting. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Akka. And one recommendation here, the last mindfulness session was very good. If you could do an audio recording of this and put it on SoundCloud, or, if you do a podcast of this, or if you have a podcast link already, if you could share that, it would be very helpful.
Okay. I don't have one, Thomas, but I can record this and share it for sure.
That's awesome.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I know we've gone way over our scheduled time, but thanks, everyone, for being patient and being present. I hope this inspires maybe at least a few of you and continue with your practice. I would like to hear from you. So this is my email address right there. So if anybody wants to take note of it, and let me know if actually you started something because of this session, because I always like to hear that feedback. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So anyhow, in our SREC alumni website, we'll be posting this webinar talk series and entire thing. So I request the members, if you want to just clarify on that, you can again go to the SREC alumni website. In that we have, under the category alumni news, we have this webinars put up there. Thank you, one and all.
Sure, thank you.
Anyone wants to join in for a group photo?
I think nobody's turning on the video, so your group photo will just be the name. So don't even try it.
Usually people are hesitant. Now I think they'll make an excuse that they are practicing this mindfulness meditation.
Over here, else.
Sorry, ma'am, I know.
Hey, that's true. I can switch it on if you want to see. I don't know if you can see. Terida. I don't think you can see anything there except for my face. Now you
Ma'am, I'm able to see you smile.
okay, great.
Ma'am, Priya Gandhi ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
நான் மதுமதிங்க மேம் ஃப்ரம் கோயம்புத்தூர்.
சொல்லுங்க மதுமதி.
மேம் ஒரு
There's a separate sequence for pregnancy. I actually did it through. கேக்குதா நான் சொல்றது மதுமதி? Can you hear me, Madhumati?
hello ma'am.
கேக்குதா தெரியலையே மதுமதி?
Yes ma'am.
Ma'am, you're here. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a separate sequence. Not all poses are recommended for pregnant people, but there's type பண்ணட்டுமா மதுமதி?
Yes ma'am.
டைப் பண்ணிருக்கேன் மதுமதி. கேக்குதா தெரியல?
கேக்குதுங்க மேம்.
Oh, கேக்குதா? Okay, yeah. Not all poses are recommended. எல்லா போஸும் பண்ண முடியாது. Obviously, there's some things that you shouldn't do. There's a separate sequence and pregnancy yoga classes that is tailored specifically for yoga and to help with this delivery. So.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
All right, I am going to sign off. Thanks, Naveen. Thanks, Thomas. If anybody has any questions, I will put my email address in here. Feel free to reach out. Thank you.